Life being fat.
Of, let's say, going to a horse riding. Now they have to find the biggest now your hips are like popping out of the seat. Now it's like you are pushing another person. Now you can see that the person you're sitting next to now is giving you those. Nobody wants somebody who's unhealthy in their company. Fat people are unhealthy, fat people are ugly, fat people smell. Give compliments. If you see somebody who's beautiful, give compliments. You took your beauty and you child it in the city of gold. It's not my problem. I know fat people who are like stone cold. They have the most terrible hearts. Fat people are good for winter. You probably could roll up in the snow with the penguins and will still be hot. Hey guys, welcome to another venting video. So today I'll be talking about life being fat, life when you're fat or plus size or however you consider yourself to be. But with my situation, I'm just going to name it as life being fat. So we'll be talking about the disadvantages of being fat from my personal experience and how life looks like on the environment when you are fat, and also the draining, annoying one, life around people when you're fat, people's opinions. So we'll be talking about all of those topics. So we'll be talking about all of those topics while I make my dinner, and I won't be showing you the cooking part. I just want us to focus on the topics. Okay guys, also I want to first claim that whatever I'll be talking about here has nothing to do with anybody else. It is my personal experience, my personal opinion. It is not fact. It's just my experience, and the events are not true for everyone who is plus size or for everyone who is considered fat. These are just my experiences, nobody else. Okay guys, so obviously, as you know, as you can see, I am fat or I am plus size. So for me, I don't actually have a big problem with being fat or plus size. I just have the problem with the unhealth side of it and how I look like when I'm fat, because you can be fat but you can still be pretty. So I think that's another thing that I also want to talk about, that these days it's like everybody considers fat to be ugly. Like, fat doesn't equate ugliness, and fat doesn't always equate unhealthy. So for me, the thing is, I don't have a problem with being fat or plus size. I just have a problem with how it makes me look, how good is it for my health. So that is where my mindset is. So let me watch this. So this part, I actually think I did touch a bit on it on my first video. As you know, I'm on a weight loss journey. If this is your first time here, I'm on a weight loss journey. I started February this year, and I haven't lost any significant amount of weight yet. So difficulties that I noticed about being fat obviously is the dark pigmentation. I have it around my neck, in my armpits, and that has made me to really not like this weight. That's why I decided to start my weight loss journey. And another thing for me is the stretch marks. The more you gain, the more you have stretch marks. And not for everybody, but for me, I had more stretch marks when I started gaining too much weight. And that of course has made me to be like super uncomfortable about my body, about my skin, which is not currently now, but before, when I started gaining a lot of weight, I would get really uncomfortable just because I don't like seeing stretch marks, you know. As much as I have that pigmentation, but it's not annoying me like the way the stretch marks are annoying me. So I'm responsible for gaining the weight, but also the natural effects, the natural reactions to that also take place. And also the list continues. So excuse the light, guys. I know it goes on and off. I'm using natural light, so when the sunlight like goes down, my lighting also goes down. So also, guys, it went further as to even my clothes. Like everybody knows that you have a certain style of how you dress, right? So when you gain weight or when you start becoming very fat, your clothes are no longer sitting the way they're supposed to be, or they used to sit. Also, yeah, the way they're supposed to sit, because when you buy something, right, you have an expectation that, oh, this is going to sit like this. So that's also one factor that I hate about being fat, is that clothes are just not sitting right. So another thing that I think is a big challenge as well when you are like fat, like when you're going on a vacation, let me say you're going on a vacation or holiday or just a simple outing, like I feel like also the environment outside also does, you know, impact negatively as somebody who's fat as well. Let's say you're going out, you know, with your friends or on your own or on a vacation or something like that, and then you have to do excursions, right? Maybe you must, you know, do the horse climbing or just any fun excursion. So I feel like it is so uncomfortable, because I feel like personally when you go there, there's always going to be like extra attention on you because of your weight, because of, let's say, going to a horse riding. Now they have to find the biggest this is actually funny. They have to find the biggest horse for you. Like I feel like you cannot do anything else normal, like a normal person, you know, somebody who's like on the average size. They can just, you know, you can just get in there and then you just register that, oh, I'm just here, we just here for the horse riding and what, and then you go there, they pick your horses for you. But when it comes to you, I feel like it can be uncomfortable because of maybe they find like the average horses, right? And then you come, maybe you come with your friends or with your friend and they're of this average size, and then you are big or you are fat. Now you will see your tall, your tour guide changing the face, you know, when you are approaching, because of now they thinking that, oh, I think we might need a bigger horse, or there's a weight limit. You know, in some places, some of the excursions, like there can be a weight limit. It's not them being rude, but some of the things you just can't do. So I feel like sometimes being fat, it does limit to you having like fun like anybody else. So that's another thing that I also think about when I'm noticing that I'm not losing weight and the time is like shifting, because I know that I'm a person who loves to explore. I still haven't done much of that, but I have done a bit. But I know that I want to do more. Like I want to travel, I want to do all of that. Even that traveling, like on an airplane, let's say you're sitting with somebody, you know, that is also one of the environmental factors that can aid to life being difficult as a third person. And then you get this small seat, now your hips are like popping out of the seat. Now it's like you are pushing another person. Now you can see that the person you're sitting next to now is giving you those, you know, those weird looks like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Even not on the airplanes, guys. I wanted to also talk about this. Like me, I don't have a car, so I'm still using like taxis. I don't use much Ubers. I like use maybe 30% of the Ubers, but 70% I'm using like taxis. Even like when I'm going home, like it's a long distance, I'm using taxis. So you can tell sometimes when you're like, you know, approaching the taxi or maybe the taxi stop, and then you have to get in. Now people, you know, are making like, you know, those weird looks just because of what you are fat, meaning that if it's a 4-seater, it's going to look like it's a 3-seater, and now you have to like squeeze people, and then that is the environment. Even though for me, as much as like I have a big butt, but some of the people, you find them complaining about that, like, oh, sitting in the taxi sometimes it's so annoying, and then you're just sitting there waiting for that last person, and then comes a fat person, and then obviously, and already your seat is not good enough, already comes a fat person, and everything's just going to be like worse. So for me, as much as I have a big butt, I've never, maybe it's because I'm a very like confident person, I've never like had somebody being rude to me just because of that, because I've heard other fat ladies talk about how people are mean to them in the public transport just because they are big, and then people will be making like weird comments like, oh, you need to hit the gym. Ooh, I can't sit here, I would rather wait for another taxi than sit with a fat person. That has never happened to me, but I definitely have felt some vibes maybe once or twice, but it has never been like a thing for me. As much as there was a point where I used to use taxis like every day, it was never like a thing, like a thing that's like stands out. When I want to go to a taxi, I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my god, I now have to go and sit there with the people who don't want me there, because I know people who say that's how they feel, like plus size people. So for me, it has never happened like that, because of guys, you should also keep in mind that the people who are doing that, most of the cases, it's not like they are complaining because you are actually taking the space. They're just complaining because of their bullies. Like, bullying somebody else makes them feel better. Or when you see a fat person, you are like, it's so much easier, you feel like you are funny, even though you're not a funny person. But as soon as you see a fat person, you wanna believe in yourself that I think I'm funny, because of it's gonna be very easy, to bully somebody like that. So that's what I also keep in mind, guys. But at some point, for me, I would like, when I was talking with one of my fat friends who was also telling me their struggles, I was like, I've never experienced that, but if somebody ever does that to me or make mean comments about my weight in the taxi like that, I'm gonna, tell them from here to here. But in a way, I thought about it, I was like, I understand it is very difficult, but somebody who is giving out their concern, because from the sense of, oh, like, I cannot sit here, like, I'm uncomfortable, I understand. But I'm not going to understand a person who's gonna come, like, with the attitude like this, with the point of you are just being mean, like you are comfortable. Sometimes people, they be complaining, but they are comfortable in their seat. But just because of it's a stereotype that when you're sitting with a fat person, they take the space, even though that's not the case. But for me, it has never happened that deep. But at the same time, I do understand when people are also complaining about that. I 100% understand. I can imagine, but I do not understand the disrespect. That's the part that I don't understand. So those are some of the natural factors that I think about when I'm alone and I'm seeing myself, not losing any weight. I'm like, will I be able to stand all of that? Because it's a lot. Guys, I burnt my rice. Oh my goodness. And I was just standing right here. Fat people are unhealthy, fat people are ugly, fat people smell, fat people cannot run, fat people are not active, fat people are lazy, fat people cannot dress, fat people are not taken serious. Ooh, and now the exciting one, I want us to talk about people's opinion, guys, on somebody who is fat. So for me personally, I would like to say, first, I don't really care about people's like opinions, as I think I did say in one of my videos, if not the first videos, that I know a lot of fat people who were bullied, like fat people maybe who are older now, like maybe around my age, who were like bullied when they were still very young, or when they were in school, in primary, you know. But for me, I was never bullied. I would be lying if I said I was ever bullied, maybe for being fat, because of I've always been like fat, but not like fat like now. Like I've always been, you know, person who's considered to be fat ever since I was young, because of my butt has always have been bigger than anything on my body. So the stories you would hear from other fat girls, like, they are very, very, very sad, because of, I know there are also other people who actually even took their lives because of being bullied, like just being bullied in general, because bullying is not only like fat bullying, but imagine being like just bullied like everybody else and also being fat bullied. So people's opinion on fat people, guys, like, I'm always amazed either when I hear a comment, because one thing for sure, as I've said, I've never been bullied back then and even now. The things that I hear from other people, sometimes I do hear it myself, you know, when somebody's like throwing a shade but smiling, or throwing a shade acting as if they're talking to somebody else but they're talking to you. So if you're gonna talk to somebody else but you're talking about me, but I don't actually like say my name, I will not respond. Like, I will not. And if you are in South Africa, you know those type of people. You will find those conversations maybe in like gatherings. Maybe if you are in a wedding, like you look really nice and everybody's complimenting you, they're gonna think that the weakest link is that you are plus size or you are fat. Or if you are in a taxi and then, you know, you look really nice, they always come when you look very nice, and then they act like, you know, they talking on their own and all of that. So for me, it like blows my mind, because of if you are in South Africa, I'm gonna speak more about in South Africa just because of I live here. Almost here, the thing that is like very famous, if you are like fat, somebody will tell you like, oh, you need to work out, oh, you are so fat, you need to gym. If you can just gym. But I'm gonna speak more about me. On my side is going to be those like, if you just gym, if you can just lose here, you are fine here. If you can just lose just few inches here, or shape this. That time I'm looking at the person and I cannot believe that this person is actually telling me about that. Like, they're actually serious. You look like this. But just because that's also the thing, like, people who comment too much on fat people is people who are like actually ugly, and it makes sense why, because of course everybody who bullies you, it's not about you, it's about them, it's what they think of themselves, and when they're doing it to you, it kind of like shifts the hurt to you so that they don't have to feel it now they feel like, oh, somebody is there and I feel like I'm better than them. That's why I'm always saying that I think fat is equated to being ugly too much, is equated to being unhealthy, so which is definitely what I don't believe in. But what I believe in is that me as Kat, I am fat and I am unhealthy, which is me. Why I'm saying that? Because of my weight. I'm saying that because of my BMI. I'm saying that because of my struggles I've noticed since I gained weight. Problems which I never had, now I had them. I used to wake up in the morning, my feet would be swollen. That would be because I gained too much weight. Since I started working out and I lost some small weight, that has gone away. I started to have very dark pigmentation when I started gaining weight. That was caused because of my weight gain. I started having too much stretch marks. That was caused because of my weight gain. I cannot longer run the same mile I used to run when I was on the lesser size. Now I have to like breathe really heavy. Before I started my weight loss journey, when I really noticed that I've gained too much weight, I would wake up in the middle of the night thinking I'm out of breath. I was literally just sleeping and I would have to go back So that's why I'm concluding the unhealthy comes from. Somebody else who may be the same age as me, who looks like me, who has the same mass as me, the same size, the same weight, may not be experiencing what I'm experiencing, may not be unhealthy as I'm unhealthy. So that's what people's opinions do. They equate, maybe they had somebody who's fed in their household, or they had close somebody who's a friend or something. They saw them struggle, maybe. And then they concluded that, oh, that means this is how the fat people are. That means if this person is like this, that means the next person is also unhealthy. If this one, she's always like, when she's sitting, she's just breathing heavy. That means everybody who's fat, they breathe heavy, and because of their unhealthy. Some people are not even unhealthy, they're just asthmatic. That's all. So people's opinion to me are crazy. So the famous ones in South Africa is fat people are unhealthy. Fat people stink. They say that fat people stink. I'm like, wow. So anything that is fat, it is like very negative. So in fact, I have a book, guys. I've written all of the points down, but let me fix this. I can't believe that I burned my rice. The list is endless, guys. The list is endless about fat people. Oh, not the water. The list is endless. Where's my book? Fat people are good for winter. Fat people have the heart of gold. Fat people they give you the mommy feeling. Like, the list is endless about fat people. I don't know where people get these ideas. And it's actually people who are not fat. You are not fat yourself, but you know so much about being fat. Wow. Wow. One thing that gets to me, I understand everything. One thing that gets to me is the confidence that these people have over fat people. It's like when they see a fat person, yeah, it makes them look like they are so beautiful. Like, it makes them feel like, you know, they actually look better than they actually look. Like, the one time, oh guys, the one time I had somebody who tried to like bully me, it was this lady, you know, was like in her 40s, right? And by that time, I think I was like 22. Because I'm 28 now. I think I was like 22 years old. And that time was when my body was like, it was popping, but I was still, you know, fat. But for me, I would say I was fat the way that I would like to be fat now. My body looked good. All of my clothes looked the way that I liked. I was healthy. Like, everything was just good. My arms were not this big. Yeah, everything was just great with that. So now I was wearing this very beautiful jean and maybe like a top like this, but I tucked it in, you know. I used to wear that when my booty was still like. So now she bumps into me. I think she was like my sister's friend, my late sister's friend. I don't know what was happening with her, because last time she was living around here, like her life was fine. So when I saw her, it's like life, you know, just put her in the dust. So now, but you know, I was happy to see her still, because she was my late sister's friend and thing. But she didn't look well. She looked like, you know, she was sick. You know, when a person looks like they're sick, that's how she looked like. And she had lost a bit of weight and all of that. So I'm bumping into her. I'm like walking with this first friend of mine. In fact, that day was like the worst day for us, me and my friend. And my friend is not fat. She's like mid-average. And when I go home, I think I will link up with her. Maybe I might film that day. Then I'll show you. But anyway. So now we meet with this girl and then with this lady. And then she starts looking at me like, why are you like this? I'm like, huh? I thought maybe like there's something on my shirt or like on my face. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that's how I responded. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, why are you looking like this? Are you sick? I'm like, no, why are you saying this? She's like, no, you are too big. Like, no, this is not healthy. That time, guys, I wasn't even, it's like she was saying I'm I'm big, like the way I am big right now. But in fact, worse, the way she said it, it was like, I'm too big that I can't even like walk. You know what I mean? She was like, no, you're too big. You can't look like this, like you're unhealthy. This is not good. I actually thought this was your mom. I thought you were your mom. I was like, but my mom is not even, we are not even the same size with me and my mom. Like, how can I be my mom? But I understood. I got the page. I got where she was going to, because of whatever she was saying was something that was definitely untrue and irrelevant. But she just, wanted to take something out. So now my friend is like, now I'm getting embarrassed. I'm like, how could this person say this to me? And I was actually just telling my friend when we was about to approach it. I was like, oh my goodness, I know this lady. She's my sister's friend and all of that. I was so excited. Now I'm embarrassed because I told my friend that I was excited. This is my sister's friend. Now I'm embarrassed, like, my friend will think I lied or something. Why is this person being mean to her? Maybe she doesn't know her or something. So I was like, no. You need to lose weight. That time, guys, I don't know how she looked like. She looked like somebody who was about to collapse, literally. And I'm just standing there and I cannot believe it. I'm like, now I'm getting the idea that, because at first I was shocked. I was like, maybe she's seeing something. So now I'm aware that now she's not seeing anything. She's one of them people, because I'm able to spot those people. As much as I wasn't bullied, but I know the people who throw shade. As I say, I've never been bullied directly. I listened to her. I'm like, and now she's like waiting for me to respond, right? I'm like, and she's also working with this other lady. I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, I almost didn't recognize you. I'm like, no, I mean, like, you are serious. Like, you saying I'm sick. Have you seen yourself? Like, are you actually like serious right now? Like, have you seen yourself? She's like, no, I have my problems. I'm old and I am sick. But I'm like, no, like you can't be serious right now. Looking like this, you are telling somebody who looks like this. That time, guys, I was still very I was still fight fire with fire at that time, guys. I was still even maybe a bit immature, I can say it like that, because of, if you give me one, I go with like 10, because of, I used to hate how other fat people were treated, because of, they were not, as I've said, they were not directly saying it to me. They were walking in circles and they were bullying people, maybe who are fat. So I could never fight with somebody, who never like directed, like bullied me. So I had so much anger, and the arrogance like pissed me off from the people who like to make fun of fat people or think they know fat people. So I was very annoyed with them. So when I saw her, she started doing that, and then that was a alert to me that, oh, I found one, and she's actually shooting shots at me. I'm like, I'm gonna sort her out. I'm like, there's no way you're talking about me. Like, are you seeing me? Are you seeing this one? I was like, you see how I'm looking at you? That's how I was looking at her. I was like, you can see this body, right? She was like, yeah. Now she starts being, shy. She's like, oh yeah, you do have a beautiful structure, but I'm saying, like, there's no but. Like, there's no but. I have a beautiful body. I am hot. That's why you are so pressed, because there's no way you can see somebody who's beautiful like this and tell them that they're ugly, to the point where they look like you cannot recognize them, to the point where they look like they're sick. You literally said in words that I look like I'm sick. Looking like this, I am fire. Like, you wish to look like this right now. That's why you're so pressed. And then she was like, now she started getting very, she was like, no, it's not like that. Like, I'm sorry if it came out wrong, I was just playing with you. Now she tries to like slide it off, play it off. I'm like, there's no way you're gonna tell somebody who looks this good and you tell them that they look like they're sick. There's no way you're joking about that. You were not joking. Now she starts to like play it off, and my friend now can see that I'm like, spitting fire. So my friend, she's like touching my hand, like, no, come on, stop it, leave her alone. And as I said, guys, that time I would fight fire with fire. I was like, no, I'm not gonna leave her alone. She said I was sick. But if somebody can pause right here and look at both of us, who is sick between me and you? So you go there in the city of gold, and the city of gold chows you in the dust, and then you come back here, you're gonna talk like this. Am I the one who sends you in the city of gold to get chowed? Give compliments. If you see somebody who's beautiful, give compliments. You took your beauty and you chowed it in the city of gold. It's not my problem. Okay? Some of us went in the city of gold, we came back with more beauty. So next time when you see me, do not feel the jealousy that and allow it to make you speak things about yourself. You literally referred everything about yourself to me. No, I'm not gonna take that. Now she was embarrassed. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to. I think it came out wrong. Like, friend. Now she's telling my friend, like, can you please tell her to calm down? Like, I didn't mean it like that. I was like, you need to go back home. Do you see that you're about to collapse now? Like, guys, I said that time, like, I was like hot-headed until I got mature, and then I was like, some situation needs the hot-headedness and some situations don't need it. But the way she pissed me off, because I still remember the event even today, I was like, she deserves it. And then guys, you would swear she was about to, like, when we like, now she was going in her own way, because I was like, my friend, let's go, this person's about to collapse and I'm not going to take anybody to the clinic because the clinic is very far. Remember, we are far from the taxis here. That time I'm taking my friend and we leaving. Oh my goodness. But at some point, because of I have, you know, a soft spot, I have Jesus inside of me, I felt bad for a minute. When I saw her, when she was starting like to shake, I felt so bad. I was like, oh my goodness, I think I should go and apologize. But how am I apologizing? Whatever. Imagine if I was somebody who couldn't speak back the things she said to me. I was just happy to see her. I'm just walking with my friend, walking wherever we went to, and somebody just stops you. Somebody who's even older than me. She was more mature at that time, telling me that I look sick. Like, just imagine. I was like, no, let her go. God will forgive me and all of that. And so I'm just saying that to say, for me, bullying, I can say maybe it happened indirectly because I would get like shade. Being shaded when you walk into a space, as I've said, let's say, because of I always make sure that when I go out I look good and I dress well for my body, and that somehow steps on other people's toes, which I don't care. So sometimes you would get shades maybe when you walk into a shop or you walk in somewhere, you know, because of I'm always that person who's going to be the center of, you know, attention. You walk in, now people start looking at you, you know, the perverts and the boys as well, you know, the normal boys, because they are perverts, they are normal boys. There's a thin line in between. Them, you know, will be giving you that attention, and you know those girls that love, you know, the attention, now they start giving you those weird vibes. Some of them will be like, I'm so glad I look like this friend. Maybe they're speaking with the other friend, like, I'm so glad I look like this friend. I cannot imagine how being fat feels like. You know, those comments, I have gotten them, like, you know, during a passing, but they're not like direct, but I've gotten them. But for me, if you're not gonna like face me and tell me directly that you are fat and I hate you, like, I will not respond as much as you can talk about me. But I cut the cord where you actually like call my name or touch me or refer to me that, oh, like this girl, now we have a problem. Now you have my attention, in fact. So that's the type of person that I am. But for me, guys, at the same time, not being bullied, I think it was always because I had the body that was like socially, or yeah, it was socially accepted, just because of I was peer shaped. Like, the obsession with peer shape and hourglass, it's not starting from today, from long time ago, but it was mild. Now it's crazy. Now it's something that I don't even recognize. But I'm just saying that with me not being bullied, in a way, I do think that also had an impact, because of people will be like, oh, you fat, but you're pretty, because of your lower body is the only place that is like fat. So that's good. I would always get those, like, you say that to my face. you're gonna get it. Anybody who knows me, guys, I used to be like hot-headed. As much as people think, there are certain people who still think like I'm hot-headed. Like they're like, you are like disguising. You like to act like you are smiley, you are always happy, you are always bubbly, but you are very like hot-headed. You are very like feisty. I'm not. If they met me those years ago, they would know that I am actually nice. Now I just like to put everybody in their position, guys, like as I say. But even if I didn't have a PhD bully, guys, like I don't believe I would have been bullied. I was too confident, and there's nothing that pisses me off like a bully, guys. Oh, I cannot stand bullies. I cannot stand arrogant people. I cannot stand people who are like overhyped. I know I on the camera I'm very hyped, but believe me, in a personal space I'm not hyped like this. I'm not I'm not. I'm only on my channel, and just because of I'm happy. But when I'm around a person, I don't get all extra in their face. I don't do that because I also hate it myself. To say that I don't like overhyped people in nature, like especially guys. A guy who's like overhyped and and we have a lot of them here in South Africa. And also, guys, another thing, they say that fat people have the heart of gold. Like when you see somebody who's fat, you just see, boy, there's cuddly, there's softness. I know fat people who are like stone cold. They have the most terrible hearts, and you would find those. I've seen those ones in the taxis, as I've said. But at some point, I used to think that maybe they were just mean, just because people were being mean to them in the public transport. I would find those fat ladies who are like really mean, like for no reason at all. Even though you know that you are big, you're not supposed to sit and spread your legs. You are already big. You're not supposed to. As I said, that at some point the people who were complaining, I understood them at the same time. I just didn't understand the approach or the disrespect or the complaint unnecessary. Like when you are comfortable in the seat and you are sitting with somebody who's fat, but you're still comfortable, but you're still gonna complain just because you can. I've never understood that part. But the other part, which is a fact, is that you take more seat when you are fat. It is a fact. That one is a fact. If it's a 4-seater, it's gonna end up looking like it's a 3.5-seater if you are sitting with another fat. I don't want to even talk when you are like there's a 2 of me sitting, So, but I've seen a lot of people who are like oversized also being mean to the other people. Like we didn't say go and be fat, but you are here in the taxi trying to be mean to people. Now you are judging yourself. You feel like everybody's trying to tell you that you are fat. You can't fit in the seat. Yeah, I'm gonna sit and open my legs up. Like, come on. So in personal level, like in some instances, like in the public places, in the home affairs, in the cashiers, like do you see fat people with heart of gold there? People are talking about when you are fat, you have a heart of gold. Like men like to say that you have a heart of. Most of the fat people that I know, they have evil hearts. So people's opinion on fat people is that when they call you, there's this name in South Africa that everybody uses, the stufuza. Stufuza just means like fat. Doesn't actually mean fat, but fat in and thick. Yeah, it's like thick. When somebody says, oh, I'm thick or I'm chubby, it's those words, stufuza. So now everybody thinks that when they call you like stufuza, it's supposed to be like a compliment. It's supposed to be like, yeah, she just gave me. I'm like, and the people who actually most of the time who use the word stufu, they are not using it, they're just using it to mock you. It's just that the stufuzas, they don't understand that most of the people who call them that, they are actually mocking them. It's mocking somebody, making like a gimmick of them, like, yeah, So for me, that word, I don't like it. Like, do not call me by my pronoun, just call me by my name. Why do you need to highlight the factor that sticks out about me, and then after doing that, name it and give me a nickname? If you don't know my name, ask and I will tell you. You don't need to nickname me based on something that is highlighted about me. Just because I'm fat, now you must call me thick. Call me thick. Do you know me on a personal level for you to be calling me stufuza? Stufuza for what? If I highlight something about you now and call you that, how will that feel? Because of most of the time, the people who like to mock and bully you is the people who look the worst. I've never met someone somebody who's dead hot. I'm not saying that they don't exist and it has never happened. I've never met somebody who's dropped dead gorgeous. Bully somebody, tell them that they're ugly, or calling them fat. So that's also people's opinion, that people think that fat people are happy about. They think that, oh, if I just call her thick, she's gonna be super happy. Call me by my name. How about that, stranger? Would you like it if I called you Blakey or Darky or big stomach or half tooth or big lips? How will it look? Isn't that at the end of the day bullying? It is. Those are the things that makes life annoying when you are like fat. But for me, guys, I actually do not have, if that was my only problem, guys, if me wanting to lose weight was because of the people, I would tell you that I have no problem at all. I do not have any problem at all because of whatever fire they are trying to like burn us with. I don't feel it just because of I'm very much confident. Now if they find you and you were not so confident, then obviously it's gonna, you know, hit somehow. But for me, I'm very much confident. Like, you can't tell me anything, especially now that I know, as you will never be getting those compliments from somebody who is beautiful. Let me tell you something. Somebody who's beautiful, who's successful, they will never, it's always the ugly ones. Always the ugly. It's always them. It's always them. And it makes sense. They were always in the ugly picture. So when they feel like they found a loophole with a third person, they're gonna go for it. Oh, I'm ugly, like naturally ugly, but I think fat people are ugly. So if I meet a fat person, I'm gonna take whatever I'm feeling and drop it into them. And then that's gonna make me feel like I'm pretty. You know, when you're telling somebody, you know, when they say shifting the blame, when you're telling somebody else that, oh, Mara, you are ugly. For you, it builds something that is coming from somebody who's not ugly. So for me, I never even listen to those people. Oh guys, can we talk about the smell that fat people smell? Oh my god. Like, I would like to meet the person who's giving these people. First things first, what causes a person to smell, right? It's either you have some sickness or you don't bath, like you don't take care of your hygiene the right way, right? That's what causes a person to smell. So why does that apply only to like fat people? Why is it that all the bad things are attached to a fat person? Okay, I'm just distracted outside. Why? So for me, personally, I don't smell. Never got fat in my life where I feel like I smell, or I smell because of I'm fat. The Buddhists are saying you're smelling, they don't mean like smell as in, you know, they mean like something like they died in you. You smell really bad, like you smell fat. So I think I'm going to add a potato because I think I poured too much salt while talking with you guys. And I didn't want to use this potato. I was gonna use it for my veggie salad. So it is the assumptions about fat people, guys, like it's ridiculous, like it's crazy. You can imagine if you are somebody who's has a low self-esteem. For my advice, guys, like get over it. If you are somebody who's always offended by those silly comments from people about, oh, you fat, you cannot do this, you cannot run, you cannot be active. Oh, I wanted to also talk about that oh, fat people are lazy, they are not active. Like anything that has to do with fat, it's something that is like bad. Oh, there was this incident with this guy. I met this guy at the bank. I think back home, he was hitting on me and I was so annoyed, but because I was there, but he was not the one assisting me at the bank because I was inside. When I left, he sent the bank's security to follow me to my taxi. I don't know why. And then he wanted to talk to me and all of that. And he asked if he can take my number from, you know, the application that I was doing and whatnot. So I was like, yeah, it's fine, it's okay. So now he called me later on. Now he was like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe like you actually agreed to talk to me. First red flag. So you tell me that you have a low self-esteem. Turn off. So he was saying all of those things, and he was like, oh my goodness, you look very nice, like you look like you're a good person. I was like, I look like I'm a good person, but you didn't even speak to me though, you just saw me from far. But he was like, yeah, but you were talking to my colleague. So but I was like, yeah, client at your desk as well. So as much as you would have heard my voice, but you were paying attention to the client, right? So he was like, no, but yeah, you just look like a nice person. And we continued talking about anything and everything. About, I don't even remember about what. And then it gets to a point where now he says that, oh yeah, like you have a really, I think we were talking about life, how difficult life is and all of that, you know. So he was like, no, but I'm pretty sure like life like is really like very good for you. I was like, no, it's not, you know. He was like, no, I really believe so. I was like, why would you say that? Because he kept on insisting. He was like, no, because you know, like your skin looks soft, it looks fresh. It started like that, you know, you look pretty and all of that, like you have a beautiful body too, maybe you work out, you know, but you know, but you are fed, you know, as a chubby. And I don't know what word he used. What word did he use? But he didn't use like the fat word. He used something like chubby, you know, because remember we were speaking in our language, so I'm just trying to translate into English. But he used a chubby instead of like fat. He was like, yeah, like you are chubby and all of that. Like there's no way you have problems. I'm like, oh my goodness. And he looked so mature, like he looked good, he looked so mature, he looked so, you know, professional when he was working there at the bank. I was like, this is a gentleman. So when he spoke, I was like, this is so childish. So you're telling me there's still a person who believes in the comment you are making. So you're actually telling me, looking the way that you're looking at your big age, you still make comments like that to somebody, especially to somebody who you like. So you think I would be what? Excited that you're telling me that I don't look like my problems just because I'm fat. So you are saying that when you are fat, it means you are happy, you don't have problems. I'm like, where do these people get? From there, I just pretended like the signal is off because I was so turned off. I was like, oh, it was like something in me that even at first I didn't have that interest on talking to him, but when we like had a conversation, it was a good conversation, so I got interested now in talking. So when he like made that comment, everything just went. I was not even in the mood of pretending to talking. I just pretended like the signal is off, and then I blocked him. Enough chance to block him, I just turned my phone off because I was busy with something. After that, I blocked him, and then he was looking for me up and down, as I've heard from people there, and he just annoyed me. I was like, but he looked so mature though. There's no way he said that. I would expect that from somebody who's like 21, you know, maybe from less than 24. People are really mature these days, like. But I was like, oh, this is so childish. How could you even? Those are the things we hear. And also, guys, I don't like somebody who's gonna talk about my body. Like the challenges that I've had, maybe in potential suitors, is somebody who's obsessed about my body or how I look. If you're gonna tell me a million times that, oh my god, your body looks however you see it, every minute of the day, you're going to be obsessed over how my body looks, then it is goodbye for you. It is a bye-bye. It's even worse if you are going to be making comments as the other guy did. So there's the misconception about fat people is crazy. Or you get comments as, yeah, it's winter now. Yeah, fat people are good for winter. You know those guys. Hey guys, in South Africa, I wonder how is it out there, guys. How is it, guys, in Nigeria? How is it in the US, guys? Like, tell me. What's the life like as a third person? Here you will hear things as if, I need a big jacket, I need my bottle of whiskey, and I need a fat woman. That is how I'll get through winter. I'm like, it's the fact that everybody made that statement to be so real that they actually starting to believe it now. They're actually starting to believe that a fat person doesn't feel cold. At this point, this is getting out of hand, guys. Where do these people get these conclusions from? Where? I would like to see a third person who also says the same thing. Like, where do these people get? They saying that we don't get cold. We probably could roll up in the snow with the penguins and we'll still be hot. Probably would melt the whole snow. The way they made the statement here in South Africa so real that you don't need a jersey. Or let's just say, like, sometimes it happens, like you're just feeling very hot. Just like sometimes when you have, like, it's a hot day but you're feeling very cold for whatever the reason is. But the trick here is that you're a third person. I'm just feeling like very warm, or I'm overheating, maybe there's something with my temperature. The person will not even have to ask, like, is there something wrong with you? When you say, oh no, I feel hot, they're gonna say, oh yeah, you have the fat layers. What? Yeah, like you're fat, so the fat is covering you. You don't feel any heat. Where do you get that from? Are you a doctor? Have you seen that fat? Have you had that fat? Who said fat covers cold too? So that means I'm built in fat just because I'm fat. I know fat. I'm built in fat. Like. The stigma, the stereotypes are crazy, guys. They are bananas. Like, I just can't fathom how do these people get these conclusions, and they made it so real that now it's really true. Like, you would get girls, like maybe like a super skinny girl, she'd be like, oh, it's so cold, but lucky for you guys, you don't feel, the cold. Lucky for us guys, like, what's with us? No, because you fat, me, I'm just bones, I'm just skinny bones. Which is also another thing. I think maybe somebody else may speak about, skinny people. Like, when you are skinny, I think it's the opposite. Even as me, life being fat, I think also with people who are skinny, life as being skinny, they would have something to say because they also have the misconceptions about them that when you are skinny, it equals bones. Skinny equals sick. Skinny equals you need to eat. Like, where do these people get these conceptions from? Because this is crazy. This is insane. And for me, what beats my imagination is the fact that they impose them and they actually started believing them, because they'll be saying them on a normal day. Like, somebody will say it without actually saying it, like they're joking. Like, oh, you won't feel cold because you're fat. They're not even smiling. It just shows that's how much they believe it. This is crazy, guys. So, life being fat, those are the things I guess you have to come across. But I think what works is this, guys. If you are weak here and you are weak here and you care too much about what people think, the problem is you seeking validation from people. Is you feeling like when somebody said something about you is true. When anybody, remember what they say as well, guys. They say even your critiques, even after you've gotten critiques, when you get home, after you calm down, sit down and really look into those critiques. Could there be truth in those? But there's a thin line as well. Some of the critiques, they don't even need that, because I would believe that a critique would be somebody who's telling you something that they actually do believe. Like, like when somebody's telling you about your health, like me, I'm fat. Somebody comes to you and tells you, like, I feel like you need to lose weight. That is my opinion. I just decided to come and tell you, like, you can lose weight. Like, it's very dangerous for you to be this size, like at your age, because I can tell that you're very young. You need to lose weight. That is just my personal opinion. Maybe work out. I can suggest, you know, a few options for you if you like. Let's just say somebody you know or somebody you don't know just bumped into you and said those things. Like, you need, but it's going to be very offensive, right? Because number one, this person doesn't know me. Number two, this person is getting into my personal space, telling me how fat I look, you know. It's still going to be offensive. I think that's a positive critique. Somebody actually believes, they're not saying it in the sense of, I want to bully her, I want to tell her how much she's fat, you know, I want to just so that I can take whatever I'm feeling and push it into her. No, they're coming from a sense of, oh my goodness, like, that is unhealthy, you know what I mean? There are people who are saying, but there's going to be one person, like the one I was describing, no, you are fat, no, you need to lose weight, you ruined your body. Oh, I get that so much. You ruined your body's not supposed to be like this. No, you are fat, you need to hit the gym. Says a person who's never even been to gym. Says a person who's never even done one single push-up. One. In South Africa, most of the people, they like to say, oh, you need to be active, you need to go to gym. And gym, do you know what is gym? Do you know what is the gym? The thing you are doing, if you are doing it on a 9-9 set, somebody says, okay, do those things for 60 seconds. Do you know how that feels? It's like they just saying it in a sense of they're trying to be mean. They're not actually thinking about this, what they say. Because in gym, it doesn't matter your size. It doesn't matter what the muscles you've built. You'll still get tired. You'll still train and you will still feel like you are carrying hundreds of bricks. It doesn't matter if you're fat or skinny. Before you tell me that, how about you take my hand and we go and do that together and see if you are going to be good. Because it's like they equate, oh, because I'm average size, I can gym however I want. I can do 100 push-ups, I can do 100 squats, I can lift weights, but the person is fat, she won't be able to lift squats, run and do this. My question for you, if I ever meet somebody who's going to tell me that, is like, it's fine, let's go. How about we take a lap? How about we try and do some squats or some push-ups? Whatever you're suggesting that I must do, can we please do it? So that we can see who actually needs it between me and you. So those are the misconceptions in South Africa, guys, that we will be getting. For me, my advice is, guys, be as confident as you can. If you believe you need to lose weight, or if you believe you are fat, you are not comfortable, do something about it. If you believe that I am fat, I'm unhealthy, but I still look like the way I look, fine. Be content in being yourself, but make sure to do something that is going to be healthy for you. How are you going to maintain that wealth in a healthy way? How are you going to, as much as I love my size, but I'm unhealthy, I still don't want to lose weight, find a way where you can balance the two so that your life is not at risk. But people's opinions will always be people's opinions because of it's their opinion. It has nothing to do with you. When people telling you that the misconceptions they have, do not try to prove them right. Do not try to when somebody tells you that you can't run and you are now, you are jogging, you are trying to run just to prove to that person that, oh, I can run. No, leave them. That's what they think. And if somebody throws some shades at you until they look at you like this, or they make it clear that, hey, I'm talking to you, that's when you will approach them. For me, it won't be that hard, guys, speaking up for myself, because I've always been a person who speaks up for myself. Like, a bully can never stand 1 minute with me. People who know me, they can testify against that, because of when you give me one, I just raise the bar. If I don't say 10, I like you very much, I just go 3. But the next 3 will be 8. The next 8 will be 20, because I don't like a back and forth thing. For 5 minutes or 2 minutes, whatever we're having, it must be over. Whether it's here or it's here. If I see that you're giving me 1, I'm giving you 3, you don't keep quiet. You give me 4, I give you 8, you don't keep quiet. Then I do the last bar so that I can end it. Me, I'm a very confident person. I believe in myself. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't don't care if you think fat people are lazy, they smell, or not even fat people. Me as a fat people, you think I'm lazy, I smell, I could look better than that, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. I agree. That's your opinion, your opinion. Keep it to yourself. Don't bring it over here, because when you bring it over here, you're gonna get hurt. Because I don't play, guys. I spit fire. I cannot tolerate the police. I cannot tolerate arrogant people. I cannot tolerate people who think they know everything but they know zero. So that's all I can recommend, guys. Confidence. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to have that conversation while I make my meal here. I wanted to just, vent, because of I feel like these things are not talked about enough, guys. These things are not talked about enough, and more is coming. So today I just felt like, let me have this conversation, because I was also filming a nice video, which you will see when you see this outfit, you will remember. So today I filmed like 2 videos, so I'm very happy about that, because soon I'll be leaving. I know I've been saying a million times that I'll be going home, but now I'm really going, because everything is ready. So I just wanted to, when I'm going home, I must not disappear. My channel must not stand still. I will post here and there. So please, guys, let's have this conversation. Can we also talk about that life being fat, or life being skinny, or life being whatever that you are presented about, guys? I know that my audience is like international. Guys, also share in your countries, what are the craziest misconceptions about fat people or skinny people, or whatever is the highlighted feature about yourself that is considered negative. So that was mine, guys. That was my story. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you are a returning viewer or audience, thank you so much. I do appreciate you for watching all of my videos, guys. It really means a lot to me. And if you are not sure if you like the vibes or you're gonna like the vibes, watch my first video, which explains clearly of my channel, and watch few of my videos. I have different playlists on my page. You can also check that out. And or just wait for me to post another video, which I post originally Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, but now I'll be posting Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, because I'm trying to push 4 videos a week. So just wait for those videos before you write me off. Come back again, watch those 3 videos, and I promise you will be sure to click the subscribe button. And I have a wonderful surprise video for you, which I was filming in this outfit, so you're definitely gonna love it here, guys. Don't waste time. Subscribe.